Microsoft may be struggling to catch up in the app development department, for example, but one place Windows Phone 8 is doing really well in, they've got a phone with a 41 megapixel camera. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com. This is Nokia's newest creation, the Nokia Lumia 1020. It's a Windows Phone 8 device with a 41 megapixel camera. Can this thing compete at the $299 price point with the Apple iPhone 5, the Galaxy S4, and the HTC One? We'll find out in PhoneDog's full video review of the Lumia 1020, which starts right now. If you like the Nokia Lumia 920, the Nokia Lumia 1020 is going to be a device worth looking at because not only does it pack the existing kind of similar form factor as the Lumia 920, but it's got some new goodies under the hood. Papa's got a brand new bag of toys with the Nokia Lumia 1020. It's available now at AT&T for $299, and it brings a 41 megapixel camera to the table with 1080p HD video recording capabilities. So design-wise, a little bit bulkier here on the back, but from a design language standpoint, from the front at least, preserves that look and feel that you saw on the Lumia 920, with the exception of some minor things. AT&T logo is a little bit different, things like that. But overall, volume rocker still on the right side, power button and camera shortcut button are still over here. 3.5mm headphone jack up top, usual suspects as you would expect. Micro SIM card slot, micro USB charging port, got a lanyard hole down here in your speaker as well. So overall design looks very similar to the Lumia 920, but the big difference here, couple things. One, slightly bigger battery, and then you get the Lumia 1020's 41 megapixel camera over here. And I actually stand corrected, the battery is not any larger. I said that. I'm not quite sure why I said that, but you know what, I'm going to leave it in there because everybody makes mistakes. But you got 2,000 milliamp hour battery in this device. Other specifications include a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 Plus CPU. You got 2 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of internal storage on this device, 4G LTE capabilities on AT&T, and then you got a 4.5-inch AMOLED Pure Motion HD display. So out of nerd speak there, it's Gorilla Glass 3, and pixels-wise, we're looking at 768 by 1280 pixels to make this an HD display. So it is a really nice display. Colors look great, but again, the star of the show is obviously the camera here. So this is going to be a great device for you if you're okay with Windows Phone 8. You really enjoy the customization it brings, but you want an awesome camera on your smartphone because it really does take incredible pictures. And you're going to want to stay tuned to the PhoneDog website throughout this week as we start to test the camera. I've been working with it over the weekend. Wanted to take a couple of more days to really get some great shots for you, but look for 41, or I should say look for the high resolution shots to appear very soon on the website at PhoneDog.com. But overall, the look and feel here from a software standpoint, very similar to other Windows Phone 8 devices we've seen in the past. But before I jump too far into that, I want to thank our partners at Best Buy Mobile because they give us phones like the Lumia 1020 for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile to get the 1020, you'll walk out working. They'll get you set up. They'll help you with your camera settings because at Best Buy Mobile, that's one of their programs called Walk Out Working. They want to make sure you're good to go when you walk out the door. So the Lumia 1020, again, specs-wise, not going to compete with the high-end Android devices. It doesn't have a quad-core processor or 64 gigabytes of internal storage, but what I like about this phone, the customization, Windows Phone 8 pioneering a 41 megapixel camera. This is a really nice phone. I think the biggest challenge for the Lumia 1020 is going to be the cell because Windows Phone 8 and Microsoft, they've had a hard time getting people to adopt the platform, even at the traditional $99 price points, $199 price points. So I think it's going to be a challenge for both Nokia and Microsoft, and actually AT&T as well, to market this as a $299 device when you can get the Galaxy S4 or the 16 gigabyte iPhone 5 or HTC One, for example, for around $199. It's just going to be a tough sell. So I think those people, unless they're coming in just looking for an incredible point and shoot phone with a 41 megapixel sensor, it's not going to be the best option. At least they're not going to perceive it as the best option for them. There are some great features on this phone. I really have enjoyed working with this phone. Really been pleased with it overall, but I'm hoping that people can get over that price point. Perhaps you can even find it cheaper on Amazon or through some third-party retailers. Microsoft and Nokia really did it right with the Nokia Lumia 1020, but let's dive in and take a look at what you get out of the box. Now you're going to see a bunch of applications that I've installed in my time working with it, and I wanted to take a couple of days to really get to know this device before I gave it a full video review. So if you're wondering why we're a little bit behind the other publications, I wanted to make sure I had my through and through here, and I knew what I was talking about before I reviewed it. So address book, family map, AT&T Locker, Navigator, radio, all the AT&T stuff that you're familiar with. A bunch of applications I've installed, CNN, eBay, ESPN Hub comes out of the box. Then you got Xbox games. You got all your Nokia stuff here as well. Here, City Lens, Drive Plus, Maps, Transit. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And if you've watched Nokia videos, you pretty much know what that is. So I want to focus really less on that stuff in these video series or in this video review series, and more about what makes the 1020 different and unique from some of the other stuff on the market. AT&T, My AT&T, Nokia Care, Cinemagraph, Music, ProCam, SmartCam. And we'll talk about the differences between ProCam and SmartCam as well. Got your Outlook stuff, your Office, OneNote, we got down through here, YouTube Upload, which is something I installed, YP Mobile as well, and like I said a second ago, Office as well, so you got a full Office suite. So kind of like Google Docs, or Google Drive if you will, but a full suite of Office applications right here on your phone. Really nice value add when you look at it. Now Windows Phone 8 hasn't really changed a whole lot on the Nokia Lumia 1020. It's still the overall look and feel that you would expect from a Windows Phone 8 device. Separated out, as you can see here, my apps by my words. I should say apps by my words. That's a quotable quote. Apps by the letters that they start with. So for example, if I want to go to American, I can click A. If I want to go to YP Mobile, I can click Y. If I want to go to Facebook, I can click F, and it brings me right up there to all those. And I like that. I like the personalization there, and you can do that in contacts as well. Using my test account here, I can come in, for example, and say, what contacts do I have under P or S? Stephanie Hammersmith. We'll take a look, and I can see the history as well. So, you know, Microsoft's Windows Phone 8 has a fantastic custom, if you will, and I've talked about this in a lot of previous videos, both the challenge videos and the Nokia Lumia videos, and Windows Phone 8 in general. Really like the fact that you can check out history here, and the overall kind of customization, or that's not even the right word. What am I trying to say? Not even the customization, but just the way everything integrates. For example, what's new? I can come into the People Hub here and see my Twitter feed. I can see my rooms as well, which I've talked about at length. I can see PhoneDog staff and groups. I can create a new group if I want to. I can create this room or go back to this room called Hi There. I can add members to it. So if I have, for example, all of my family has Windows Phone 8 devices, I can set up a family room and share calendars and share contacts and share things like that. And I really like that feature. It's great and very similar to a lot of other options. BBM, for example, actually up until recently, BBM on BlackBerry, and then a couple of different options on the Android and iOS side. Really like that ability to bring stuff together, and you see that in a lot of different places. The Me Tile, for example, really enjoy this as well, and just kind of overviewing a little bit of this stuff for you. Share, you can see my latest tweet in the PhoneDog_Aaron account. Notifications, you can see all the different notifications here that I've gotten in the past, and then I can see what's new as well, so all the different stuff here, and it's updating. And I've got share as well, so I can post an update from this directly and say post to Twitter, hey there, and I can send it, and it'll update right from Windows Phone. So I really like that feature. I like the fact that I don't have to open up Twitter. Very easy to use, and I'm pleased with that. And that's what I like about Windows Phone. And you see that kind of overall message throughout all of Windows Phone. It's intended to be easier to use, and in fact, Microsoft's even used the term in and out and get back to your life. And you really see it a lot throughout this. Now, there are things that I wish, and you've seen this countless times in all the videos, there are things I wish it did. For example, wish the notifications area stayed up there. You know all this stuff if you watch my videos, but that type of stuff perhaps we'll see in future versions of Windows. Let's take a quick look at the Internet Explorer browser here, and you can see, I was reading Political Ticker. We'll go to phonedog.com. 4.5-inch display here. I prefer a 5-inch display personally. That's just my personal sweet spot. That said, there are rumored Nokia devices with big displays coming, but you see portrait to landscape incredibly fast. No real changes on this device. Still a zippy device all around, easy to use. Portrait to landscape, nice and fast. Pinch to zoom is responsive. Really enjoy the overall Windows Phone experience, and you've got the same stuff that you get out of the box with any Windows Phone device. You've got the Bing experience here as well, and then I've got some personalization stuff which I'll quickly go over. And we'll go down to settings and open up a couple of different things. Theme, for example, I have my theme on orange. I actually like the yellow theme a lot too, but we'll change it just for sake of the video to about blue or cobalt. And you can see I can change the theme around. I can change the background from dark to light. So personalization, there is some there, but what I love are the live tiles where I can come in here, for example, and make them larger or smaller as I see fit. People, for example, I can make big if I want to. I have 3 different sizes with most of them. Some of them you'll see they only have 2 sizes, but have 3 with most of them, including the ones that are built in to Windows Phone 8. So for example, if I want to make AT&T, or I should say my phone icon a little bit smaller, make my messaging icon a little bit bigger, I can see all of my text message previews from this screen. So it's really nice because it's all about what matters most to you. So maybe you don't make a lot of phone calls, want to shrink it up a little bit. You send a lot of text messages though, you want to see who's texting you. You can do that. If you're like me and you rely more on phone calls than you do on text messages, I am on conference calls all day long. I can bring this back here and I can come over here and bring my phone icon back to either full size or the small square size. So it depends on what's most important to you, but what I like about that is it gives you the ability to customize, and you can see some of the customizations I've done here where I get my 3-day forecast in Dallas, I get my American Airlines application, I see my quick preview to my photos, and then my me, and then all the ones I've done down here with LinkedIn and my mail account and my Scout, Local Scout, and then my Office as well. Local Scout's something I find myself using quite a bit when I'm on Windows Phone 8. There's a Nokia alternative as well, which we'll talk about in just a second, but this is the Windows Phone 8 application. We'll load it up and take a look here. Eat and drink, and basically what it is, I land in San Francisco or New York or Chicago, and I'm like, I'm hungry, what's near the airport? Or I need to stay somewhere, what's a hotel near the airport? It'll bring up all the stuff that's located close to me, and I don't know why it's not loading up a little bit faster. Well, you know what, we'll go ahead and switch to Nokia's version of the application. We'll go down to here, and we'll go down to City Lens, which is the equivalent. Wait for it to load up, start. And then I can explore Dallas. So for example, if I'm looking for accommodations near my office, perhaps I have some PR people coming in to the city and we're having meetings together. Calibrate the compass here, figure 8 motion a couple times. We'll see how many times I have to do this off camera. There we go. And then I can zoom out here and see all the different hotels in the area, or I can switch it up to portrait mode and see where they all are in relation to my office. So I can say, hey PR people, let's have our meetings at 8 a.m. Tuesday morning. You can stay at Westin Dallas, which is not far from my office, be refreshed, and come right over at 7:55, for example. So I like that. Really nice ability. Obviously, I don't use this much in my home city, but when I'm out and about in San Francisco or New York, and despite the fact that I've been to San Francisco 85 times and New York countless times, I still use it on a regular basis, and it's something I like a lot about the Windows Phone platform. Stay tuned for part 2. We'll really focus on the camera in part 2, but I've got some curveballs that I'm going to throw at you, so you want to stick around for the video review part 2 of the Nokia Lumia 1020.